Hi everyone, in this video we are going to discuss about a very interesting example of factoring. If somebody says, do you know how to factor a minus b? Well, a minus b looks like a very simple 1-degree algebraic expression and it seems like there is no way we can factor it, right? But if you think about it, can we write a minus b as square root of a whole square, that is a, and then b also can be written as plus or minus square root of b whole square? Think about it. If we take positive square root of a and if we square that, that gives us a. Similarly, if we take positive square root of b and we square it, that gives us b. So a minus b can be written like this. And now you can see that this is like a squared minus b squared form, right? If you think about this whole thing within the parenthesis as a, then this looks like a squared, this looks like a squared minus b squared form. And then we can easily factor it into a plus b times a minus b. Now there are 4 situations here, right? We have 4 combinations like this. So the case 1 for the first combination would be like this. For the first combination, let's take the positive combination here. So I'm going to take positive square root of a whole squared minus positive square root of b whole squared. So this is like a squared minus b squared. So what would be the factors then? Well, it would be a plus b times a minus b. So this would be square root of a plus square root of b times square root of a minus square root of b. I'm not writing the positive signs anymore because it's as good as not writing the positive sign. So in the first case, the factor form is like this. Alright, now let's take the second case. In the second case, let's take square root of a as positive and square root of b negative. So we're going to take positive square root of a whole square minus, here we're going to take negative square root of b whole square. So again, this is like a squared minus b squared form. So we can write it as a plus b times a minus b. For the square root of a, I'm not going to write the positive sign anymore because no sign means positive sign. We have to be very careful about the sign of square root of b because we have taken the negative square root of b. So we have to maintain the sign properly. That is why I'm using an extra parenthesis there. And now if we remove the inner parenthesis, then this is going to look like square root of a minus square root of b and then times square root of a and then minus and minus, that will become plus. So that would be square root of a plus square root of b, which again you can write it as square root of a plus square root of b times square root of a minus square root of b. So this is exactly same as the first one that we got. Look at the two factor forms that we got. They both look identical. Square root of a plus square root of b times square root of a minus square root of b. And actually in all 4 cases, it will be the same set of factor and we'll see that soon. We have already completed 2 situations. Let's take the other 2. So in the third case, I'm going to take negative square root of a and positive square root of b. So again, here we have a square minus b square form. So this can be written as a plus b times a minus b. Now in this case, what is a? A is actually negative square root of a, right? So I'm going to write that first. So this is our a, then plus b. This is the b, the positive square root of b, that is the b, a plus b times a minus b, which is square root of b. So you think about it, I have written it as a plus b times a minus b because our second part is the positive square root of b. So we have negative square root of a plus square root of b times negative square root of a minus square root of b. Now can we write it like this? Out of the first parenthesis, if we take a negative 1, then what we get inside the parenthesis? Well, we're going to get a positive square root of a and a negative square root of b. And similarly, from the second parenthesis also, let's take a negative 1 out. So if we take another negative 1 out from the second parenthesis, we're going to get positive square root of a plus square root of b. And now if we multiply both the negative ones, they will give us positive 1. So we are going to be left with positive square root of a minus square root of b times positive square root of a plus square root of b. And of course we can write it as square root of a plus square root of b times square root of a minus square root of b. Here again you see that it's again same as the first 2 cases, right? In the first 2 cases, whatever factor form we got, we again got the same form. And very soon we'll see the 4th case, and there also you will see that the factor form will be exactly like this. So let's do the 4th case. In this case, we are going to take both of them negative. So it would be negative square root of a whole square minus negative square root of b whole square. So let's factor them. So can we write it like this? Think about it. So all I have done is I have simply written it in the form of a plus b times a minus b. Now we are going to remove the inner parenthesis and see what happens. So the first factor can be written as negative square root of a minus square root of b, and the second one can be written as negative square root of a plus square root of b, because there are two minus signs there, so that will become positive. And then let's take a negative 1 out of the first parenthesis. So if we take a negative 1 out, then we are going to be left with a positive square root of a and a positive square root of b. And similarly from the second parenthesis also, let's take another negative 1 out. We are going to be left with square root of a minus square root of b. And if we simplify a little further, we are going to get, so now you think about it, the negative 1 and the negative 1, there are two negative 1s, right? If we multiply them, that gives us positive 1. So I'm just simply going to ignore it, because positive 1 is as good as not writing the positive 1 here. So I'm not going to write the positive 1 anymore. So then we are going to be left with square root of a plus square root of b times square root of a minus square root of b. And here again we got the same factor form. If you look at all four of the cases, we got the same factor form. So actually it really does not matter whether we take the plus or minus combination, right? Any combination would give us the same factor. So then finally we can say, okay, so a minus b can be factored into square root of a plus square root of b times square root of a minus square root of b. Now because we are taking the square root, we have to assume that both a and b are positive real numbers. So let me put that condition that both a and b are positive real numbers. So a is greater than 0 and b is also greater than 0, and they both are real numbers. So that is the only necessary condition here for this particular situation. So this is one of the ways to factor a minus b if we go with the square root. Now can we also go with the cube root? Of course we can. So let's give that a try and see how that looks. So now we are going to try the cube root and we are going to do the factoring. So again I'm going to begin with the same a minus b. So let's say a minus b. Can we write it as cube root of a whole cubed minus cube root of b whole cubed? Think about it. I have a to the power 1/3 whole cubed minus b to the power 1/3 whole cubed. That means we have cube root of a whole cubed minus cube root of b whole cubed. So cube root of a whole cubed is actually a, and cube root of b whole cubed, that is also b. So that is same as a minus b, right? So then now you see we have an a cubed minus b cubed form. So now what is the factor form here? Well, now it's very easy. We know that a cubed minus b cubed can be factored into a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. So this would be a minus b. I'm simply going to write the template here. So a minus b times, then we'll have a squared plus ab plus b squared. Think about it. So now what is a? Well, in this case a is actually a to the power 1/3 and b is actually b to the power 1/3, and then here again we'll have a to the power 1/3 whole square plus a to the power 1/3 times b to the power 1/3 and then b to the power 1/3 whole square. And then if we simplify a little bit, let's see how that looks. So this is going to look like a to the power 1/3 minus b to the power 1/3 times the first one within the second big parenthesis. The first term would be a to the power 2/3. So that would be a to the power 2/3 plus this would be a to the power 1/3 times b to the power 1/3, and then plus the last term would be b to the power 2/3. And that is actually the factored form. So now you see that we can factor a minus b in two different ways. We can factor it as square root of a plus square root of b times square root of a minus square root of b. That is one of the factor form, and the other factor form is a to the power 1/3 minus b to the power 1/3 times a to the power 2/3 plus a to the power 1/3 times b to the power 1/3 plus b to the power 2/3, right? And using the similar concept, we can also factor a plus b. But for a plus b, we really cannot do the factoring using the square root. We have to go with the cube root, right? Because if we go with the square root, it will be something squared plus something squared, and there is no easy way to do factoring like that. So we can try the cube root form. So let's try to factor a plus b now. So we can write a plus b as a to the power 1/3 whole cubed plus b to the power 1/3 whole cubed. that is a cubed plus b cubed form. So then the factor form would be a plus b times a squared minus ab plus b squared, that kind of a form. Now let's plug in the value. So what is a in this case? Actually a to the power 1/3, that is our a, and then b would be b to the power 1/3, and then a to the power 1/3 whole squared, then a to the power 1/3 times b to the power 1/3, and then b to the power 1/3 whole squared. And if we simplify this, so it's going to look like this: a to the power 1/3 plus b to the power 1/3 times a to the power 2/3 minus a to the power 1/3 times b to the power 1/3 plus b to the power 2/3, and that is the factor form of a plus b. I hope everything made sense. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.